Welcome back to the Christian Century YouTube channel. I'm John, joined today by one of our online columnists, Brandon Ambrosino, who has written a brand new piece for us called Confession: I Don't Want Trump to Go to Heaven. So we are going to talk about Donald Trump, heaven, and some other related subjects. But first, Brandon, hello. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, John, good to see you. I'm Brandon. I am a visiting professor at Villanova University where I teach theology and ethics. I've been at Villanova actually for quite a while. I got my PhD from Villanova. I taught in the humanities department last semester. And yeah, I just had a book come out today, by the way, so that's kind of exciting.
Today, the
Um,
day of this recording, is book
oh,
launch day.
but yeah, today is book launch day, and yeah, I'm just living the dream in Delaware, trying to teach freshmen how to be virtuous.
Very cool. Well, that book, if I remember, the idea of it started in a Christian Century essay. So we're very happy for you in general, and we're proud that your work has gone from our pages out into the world. Um,
Thanks.
okay, this article, which I have to say has been getting so many clicks. I'm getting so many emails. People love it. A few people hate it, but a lot of people love it. And it's such a fascinating article. It's about your response to a statement Donald Trump said. He had made a remark about going to heaven. And I wonder if for those who may miss your essay, who may have missed this headline, if you could just remind us what this comment was that Trump made, just the gist of it, and how you initially responded to hearing about that comment.
Yeah, good question. So, Donald Trump was talking about trying to broker a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia. And he said that he really was trying to do this partly because he wanted to go to heaven and he felt like he was on the quote bottom of the totem pole. So I guess he thought that if he could, broker this peace deal, that maybe God would move him up the totem pole a little bit and he would have a better shot of going to heaven.
Yeah, and how did you respond? What were your thoughts or feelings when you heard him say that?
At first, I was like, well, you're not going to go. Um, and that was kind of troubling for me because what's the alternative, right? I don't really go there with my theology. Um, But I also thought, well, wait a second. Heaven is a gift, so it's not like, we get there based on what we do or we don't do. So I just had this gut response about Trump saying, I'm working hard to go to heaven. And then tried to sit there with it as a theologian and unpack what was happening in me. And then that's where this essay came from.
Yeah, a lot of this essay is you doing that unpacking, and you did it alongside a parable from Jesus. And the listeners here, if they missed the essay, you're probably familiar with this. It's about two people praying. One is a religious leader, pretty self-righteous. Thank God I'm not like that tax collector over there. But the tax collector begs for mercy, and Jesus says it's the tax collector who's actually justified. Um, I wonder if you could just tell us a little more about your engagement with this parable, as you were unpacking your own reaction. Like, was there something you felt like this parable was inviting you to do or say or think or feel differently?
Yeah, so this parable, and by the way, we see this idea come out a lot, not only in Jesus's teachings, but in his ministry. He seems to always be prioritizing people that institutionalized religion is not totally prioritizing. So this parable reads like it's authentically Jesus. But what's going on is you've got this character who is sort of who realizes he's quote on the bottom of the totem pole, right? And so he sort of admits that, but by the act of admitting this, he sort of wins God's favor, right? God is moved by this. So that was the first parallel I saw, right? Was God moved by Donald Trump saying, I'm trying to broker peace. I would like to go to heaven. I'm very far away from heaven. I don't think I'm going to make it, right? Is God moved? Jesus's parables, Jesus's ministry tells me that God is probably moved when people say things like that.
Okay, really, the main question I'm excited to ask you. a lot of the feedback we've gotten, like I said, it's been very positive, but a few people have written to me about this article and have said, "Hey, what about Christian love? Aren't we called to love our enemies, including Donald Trump?" And I'm not sure this Brandon guy loves Donald Trump. And so I just not to ask you to like, defend your feelings for Trump, but I mean, I wonder if you'd respond to just the concept of loving our enemies, loving Donald Trump. We don't know Trump personally. He's our president, but I wonder if you could just speak to what it might look like to love someone like Donald Trump, what might that mean for us?
Yeah, yeah, thanks. So we are called to love people that we don't want to love. We're also called to make confession when we fail with doing that. And I think that's sort of the key word for this piece, right? This is a confession. I'm being very critical of myself for having these thoughts. It's just that I feel like a lot of Christians that I saw on social media shared these thoughts. So I sort of just wanted to lead them in an exercise for interior reflection. Um, yeah, what does loving Trump look like? Well, first of all, I don't think Trump is my enemy. I mean, I don't know him at all. He's my president. I don't really have a lot of interactions with him. I don't have a lot of reason to go to the White House. We don't really tweet at each other or X at each other. But I think loving someone is to really wish for their good, right? To have some sort of emotional investment in the beloved's pursuit of the good. This is a very sort of Thomistic way of thinking about love. So I think it's possible to will the good for people whose politics we don't like, especially when they're very powerful people, right? Because willing the good for a politician that I think is mean, if they actually then start to pursue that good, well, then maybe they'll soften up around the edges, right? So I think loving someone and praying that that person starts to pursue more and more goodness, I don't think that's a bad thing, right? So what does loving somebody like Donald Trump look like? I think it looks like praying for them, not rejoicing in their downfall, not watching that clip of him, almost being shot and saying, "Oh man, why didn't it happen?" Which I've seen a lot of people do. That's not love. It's really willing the good, and it's hoping for his own sake that he gets his wish and that he does one day get to stand in the presence of God.
Mm, thanks for sharing all that. I think last thought from me, I think this essay was so timely because many of our readers had a similar reaction to the Trump saying things like wanting to go to heaven. When I sent out this article in our weekly editors picks email, I invited people to respond to me. I asked them, "What do you do when there's hatred in your own heart?" And I'm shocked at how many readers wrote some version to me of the statement. I had never feel like I really wrestled with or struggled with hatred until 2016. And for the last 10 years, I have for the first time really been feeling like I hate our president and his administration. And like, so this is timely stuff that is affecting people's spiritual lives. And just thank you for writing this engaging essay where you wrestled with a parable and some of these important topics that a lot of people are dealing with right now.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and anyone out there who missed this essay, you can check out the link below in the video description, along with the link where you can order Is It God's Will, the brand new book from Brandon. Thank you so much for chatting today, Brandon.
Thanks, John. Good to see you.